Hi everyone, it's Stephen from Valued. Absolutely brilliant that you can join us. Thank you very much for joining us on the Valued Facebook page here. Apologies for any technical errors we may have, and we did a very quick test about 10 minutes ago just to make sure that the software was working and everything. But today I'm absolutely delighted to invite Gwen from It's From Scratch along to the Valued Live. Valued Live, what's the whole purpose of it? The whole purpose of Valued Live is just to talk to our clients, talk to our contacts, and try and get their ideas, their suggestions, their experience, more importantly, of what it's like to run a business. So Gwen, fantastic to have you join us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's see if anybody's watching. If you just want to give us a quick thumbs up, put a comment in, something like that, that would be absolutely fantastic. And then I know that that everything's working. I think we are going live here. As I say, apologies that the technology wasn't quite working. So I just hopefully everything's up and running. It looks like it is now anyway. Yes, it is. I can start to see people watching it there. So absolutely fantastic to have you join us, Gwen. So thank you very much. Shall we kick off? Tell us a little bit about your business.
So about 2 months ago, I started It's From Scratch with my business partner, Alison. And the idea behind It's From Scratch is all things food. So anything to do with food, recipes, ingredients, that's what we want to focus on. And we want, as the name suggests, it to be about cooking in your own home, but from scratch, using great ingredients and making cooking an actual activity that you enjoy and that produces a fantastic output. So obviously with a new business, it's not fully formed yet, but we know where we're going and we know the focus that we want to give on cooking from scratch, hence the name.
Fantastic, fantastic. I'll be honest, when we very first had a conversation, I looked at your website and I was absolutely blown away by the quality, the pictures, the ingredients, the packages that you offer and everything. And to be honest, it's actually really inspired me to get off my backside and to actually cook a little bit. Because
well, that's fantastic news, because that's exactly what we're hoping to do. When we had this vision, which has obviously been in the middle of a bizarre year, our idea was we were going to have a shop where we would sell difficult to find ingredients, and above that or below that we would have an event space where we would invite people to come along and cook and hold cooking demonstrations, chop and chats, wine tastings, cook-alongs, all of that sort of thing, cooking classes, and it's just not been possible because of various lockdowns and various, it's just been really, really difficult to find somewhere like that, basically. So virtually the minute we started, we had to pivot, to use that term that everyone's using. So we went with online cook-alongs so that we can still get people cooking in their own kitchens, and we went with ingredients hampers. So we thought they would be a brilliant gift as in the lead up to Christmas, but also when we get into January, February, it'll be a good thing to do when, when we can't maybe go to a restaurant, or maybe we want a hobby, and those cookery kits, which are comprised of a cookbook for a particular cuisine, and then lots of difficult to find ingredients that'll really stock your store cupboard. So if you wanted a particularly cook, like be an expert in Moroccan cooking, you'll get the Moroccan cookbook, and you'll get all of the difficult to source ingredients to go along with that.
Absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I think it was.
I've got one. If you'd like to see, I do have one in true Blue Peter style. I'll see if I can get that in the camera there. So there's the cookbook, Orange Blossom and Honey. It's a really fantastic cookbook, and then we've got lots of there's the cookbook there. It's just really, really gorgeous. I'm a big lover of cookbooks as it is. And then lots of the difficult to find ingredients that are essential for Moroccan cooking. So I've got some preserved lemons there, some chamula, some almonds, some semolina, some harissa paste and things like that. So the idea is that I've looked into all of they're my favourite cookbooks anyway. I've looked into the cookbooks in depth with, you know, thinking like what's practical, what appears most in all of the recipes, what are you going to use, what are you potentially maybe not going to use, and it only appears in one recipe, and then what's difficult to find. So I haven't included, you know, tahini, for instance, appears in loads of recipes in this particular cookbook, but tahini is pretty easy to get now. So I've concentrated on things which are, you know, a bit where you'd have to travel to 3 and 4 shops just to get other things. I've tried to put it into one hamper. So like I say, we've pivoted from come to my shop to come to my online shop and buy like a package so that it'll, you know, really start you off on that.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Which, to be honest, I think you just about answered my next question, which was...
Oh, sorry.
No, go. I think these sessions are really great because the more interaction that we have, we're not sure what the direction's going to go. We don't know what the script's going to be or anything scripted in advance, so we're never quite sure. But I guess one of the things I do like asking clients, I guess, is how's coronavirus, how's COVID-19, the lockdowns been for Gwen, been for your business, been for the decisions that you've made during the last 6-7 months?
Yeah, well, in the first lockdown, so just to give you a bit of history, I had my own business, a franchise, for the past 13 years, which I sold in June. So the first lockdown happened, it was a veg box delivery business. So if you remember the first lockdown, anything home delivery of groceries or fruit and veg just went mad. So that I barely remember the first lockdown because it was so busy. And yeah, with people just desperate to get their hands on any sort of food, especially fresh vegetables. So that was a bit of an unusual situation. And then obviously sold the business in June, had a couple of months to think, what next? And I suppose that gave me, you know, I think when you can't really go out and do the social life that you did, it makes you, just give you time to think about what do I really want to do next? And you had definitely wanted something something related to cooking. And plus, you know, we were all watching the television, weren't we? Because there was very little else to do. And I was watching my favourite cooking shows, watching them, you know, we're always watching them, they pop up on Facebook, don't they? A 30-second video showing you how to make some amazing cake or some amazing main course or something like that. And I was thinking, but these are all great, but then why am I not jumping up from the television or jumping up from Facebook and going and making them? And generally it was because either I wasn't being given the full resources, or I didn't have the ingredients available, or maybe it was a confidence thing. And I thought, well, if I'm not doing it and I do have the skills and the confidence, what, you know, it's clearly harder for everybody else. So I do want to bring that skills and confidence to people, so that it's so all of these places that we get recipes from, be it cookbooks, be it the television, be it Facebook, be it from friends, it's just making sure that you can actually go off and make them and not just stick to the same old recipes that we often do.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I guess part of it as well, with the business being online, does that mean that anybody can buy it anywhere in the
yeah, yes, absolutely. Yeah, so we do offer local delivery, and we're offering postage and packing delivery as well, because obviously we do hope that everyone across the United Kingdom, they're pretty heavy because of all of the jars and everything and the book and stuff like that. So as you can see, when I tried to juggle that one there, it's pretty heavy, so the postage costs are a bit. Unfortunately, we're just working on trying to sort that out at the minute. But yeah, it's available for local delivery by yours truly or my business partner. We do offer national delivery as well.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So let's ask you another question, I guess, that we keep on asking clients over the years. But what's your biggest frustration connected to the industry, and how did you manage to solve that?
Well, I hope that was the biggest frustration that I find is that we're fast becoming, I think, a takeaway society, and lockdown has sort of exacerbated that, really. So lots of restaurants, and I can't blame them at all for this, have pivoted and made, you know, they're now offering takeaways because that's the only way that they can maintain their business. But some of the, you know, the bigger players and takeaways are trying to make it the norm, and I'm just not sure it should be the norm to reach for the phone and get a takeaway numerous times a week. I just would, I wonder if we're losing cooking skills because of that, and we're losing the get up and go to go in the kitchen and enjoy cooking and maybe cook with our children, etc. So I am frustrated with that, and that's what I hope From Scratch is going to plug that gap. Obviously, you know, in lockdown there was a lot of talk about how obesity might make, if you did happen to get COVID, it might make things a lot worse for you in terms of symptoms and outcomes. So I do think also, if we can encourage people to cook from scratch, which is more healthier, then I think we'll be able to help society in that way as well. So yeah. That
sounds like one heck of a person. Yeah.
yes, it does. Yeah, let's. You know, ideally, you know, our strapline is making recipes a reality, and that's what, you know, we genuinely want to make everyone think, actually tonight, I know that I feel a bit tired, I can't be bothered, but there is something I could make in the space of 15, 20 minutes. I've got all of the ingredients for it. I know it's tasty. I know it's good for me. I know it's much better for me than reaching for the telephone. And I just, you know, we really want to inspire people and make sure they've got the tools to do it, and not just, you know, this is a recipe, thanks very much, goodbye. You know, this is a recipe, this is how you can get that difficult to find ingredient. This is, you know, when it says you have to zest that lemon, this is how you zest a lemon. You know, when it says you have to peel that ginger, well, grab your teaspoon, because that's the best way to peel a piece of ginger. You know, we want to give lots of tools and techniques and hints and tips, so that it's just a doddle. We just want to make it a doddle for people.
See, I think that's the important bit, right? I'm 45-year-old. When I was a child, my gran, many, many years ago, she used to be a baker. Yeah, so she cooked the pies, the sausage rolls. I did all that sort of stuff, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And I forgot how to cook. And now I don't cook a thing apart from toast, scrambled egg, and a couple of other things. Yeah. And I was on about the other week when I was talking to you. I got inspired to cook this like a curry, an Indian curry, and it was absolutely beautiful. I did it for the family, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And I did it, and I was so proud of myself for doing that. Thinking, why didn't I do that? And I think it was just where you were talking about there, zesty lemon. I was like, what? Hey, right?
Yeah, okay. Well, that's the thing. To some people, that'll be bread and butter, and to some people, that'll really, frighten them. It's like, oh God, we're getting into serious cooking now. But it's just, if you can see somebody else doing it, or if you've got somebody on the end of the line who can say, well, actually, it's literally just this. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about using fresh ginger. Don't worry about using fresh turmeric. These are the ways that you can do it. And you will always get a better result if you cook from scratch. It's just the bottom line, But you don't need a curry. I've just put on our Instagram page, I've just put a 6-ingredient beetroot curry on there, and it's just 6 ingredients and 6 very easy to get ingredients. It's vegetarian, so it's going to be a bit, if anybody's doing meat-free Monday, then you're going to get the advantages of that. By all means, add some meat in if you want to, but it's just a fantastic recipe. And we've got loads of recipes like that, and we just want to share them.
Fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. So the next question I was going to ask you, if it's all right, is if you could go back to the beginning of your business, what would be the one bit of advice you would give to yourself?
I think being super organised with your spending and your paperwork and your invoices and things like that. Even though, like I say, I was in a previous business for 13 years, and I know what it's like, that you can get, you can either be purchasing a lot, or just be in the mire of something. And it's easy to lose track. And then again, this time I got too excited. I started buying things, and now I'm going, where's the invoice for that? But things have moved on greatly since then. So I've got a bank account, whichever time I spend on, it asks me, do I want to upload a receipt? And I take a photograph. So, you know, things have, since my last business, things have got substantially better. So that is the one thing that I would recommend. I think the other thing is get your social media sorted out ASAP. So that was before we even launched, I had our Instagram and I had our Facebook sorted out, because it's free. And I wanted to make sure that when people started to go to our Facebook, and particularly Instagram, because Instagram is where it's at for food, that there was a lot of content there. And so people weren't going and just seeing that we had one post on there. So I wanted to make sure that we had a full grid on Instagram. So, you know, that would be my first job, get that sorted out.
And would you say that Instagram, social media, is a main driver for your business?
Yeah, absolutely. I do think it's, you know, because especially at the minute, you know, there's no point in advertising on the back of a bus or on a advertising hoarding, because no one's going out. We're all sitting in front of these screens. You know, there's different, I genuinely think there's different social media platforms which suit different businesses. In my last business, I did have a dabble with Twitter and got nowhere. But the minute I went on Instagram, it was amazing, you know, new customers, engagement, existing customers and stuff like that. So, you know, you will find where your tribe is, for want of a better expression. So yeah, but it is important to get that, to take advantage of what is effectively a free way of advertising and getting customers and engaging your customers.
And I think that's excuse me, that's so important. Because I think a lot of business owners, they think, well, social media, it's going to take me hours and days and weeks of my life just to put the original content out, to keep it up to date, to do everything. How many hours a week would you say you spend on your social media, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh gosh, hours a week, probably about, I would say 3 or 4. And you know, obviously I'm having to do more because we are a new business. But in my last business, I don't think I spent as long. But you know, we're having to develop a lot of content, and you know, when we do have cooking classes, we'll be able to take photographs from there. So we'll have a lot of content. But at the minute, we're having to create content. So I'm having to cook things, to photograph things, to make sure I've got the recipe for that and things like that. So I think I'm probably spending a lot more. And of course, on Instagram, everybody's doing an Instagram advent calendar at the moment. So I jumped on that bandwagon, of course, but that does mean I've put a recipe on every single day on our Instagram. And last night it was about 9:30. I thought, oh, I haven't done it yet. So it's good. Make sure that you're posting every day. So at the end of, you know, my grid is going to be absolutely full of content, and really useful content for people as well.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. So another question, tell us about your proudest moment as a business owner.
Well, like I say, we've not been going in this business for very long, but we did our first cook along about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we just did it for family and friends. And that was so much like yourself, Stephen. We wanted to practice with the technology, because that can often be, you know, we were confident on the recipes, we were confident that we could convey the recipes, but we wanted to do some practice with the actual technology. So we just invited friends along. We had a brilliant response. We had about 10 people who wanted to join us, and I think that was a pretty good number. So we spent 2 hours doing 4 dishes, which a lot of people thought we wouldn't manage, you know, to do that many dishes. But at the end, some people who, you know, were genuinely not cooks were just amazed with what they were produced. And one lady in particular, my friend Barbara, was, you know, she was blown away. We made a butternut squash and peanut stew. And she said, I would never have thought I'd be able to make anything like that. And it used cumin and coriander and ginger and a bit of cinnamon and a bit of cayenne pepper. And she was like, these are things I didn't even have in my kitchen. But now, I'm going to make that again. So I was super proud of that. And then just the other day, I was watching Kirsty's Handmade Christmas. And there was a lady on there who won the Great British Bake Off a few years ago, and she made a cranberry sauce recipe. And I jumped up and I thought, I'm making that recipe. So I made it, I put it on my Instagram, and she reshared it on his story. So
wow.
Great British Bake Off, we all, who doesn't love it? So I'm super proud that I had my story on Instagram.
Oh, fantastic. That is brilliant. Well done.
So even in the couple of short months that we've been going, I still have some proud moments from that.
I think that's the important bit, isn't it? Is right now we look so much because of the horrendous deaths, the illness, all of the problems associated with coronavirus and with COVID-19, and we forget that actually we're doing a lot of positive stuff on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We're still going a lot of business.
Yes.
We're still able to trade. And I think the important bit for those of us that are lucky enough to be able to do that is to remember the positives and to try and help the others that aren't in such a lucky position. But I think sometimes as a society, we don't really want to shout that actually we're having good moments. We don't want to shout about being proud of what we're doing because actually it feels insensitive. I think but no.
Well, that's it, because like you say, equally someone could be, I generally, it's Wednesday or Thursday, but sometimes on a Wednesday or Thursday, I do have what am I doing? Is this the right thing? Should I get a proper job, sort of thing? Yeah. And so it's good to reflect on the fact that in a couple of short months, things have, there's been a lot of positive things as well as the wobbles. And the other, if we went back to the other question about what advice would you give someone who's just starting up, it's like, accept that you're gonna, it's a roller coaster and you're gonna have wobbles. In my last business, I had loads of wobbles with that, but you've just got to, wake up the next day, shake yourself off, and you should be fine.
You do, don't you? You do. So I guess another question I would like to ask you, if it's all right, is what would your advice be to someone that was starting out as a new business owner? Now, obviously, you've gone from your old business, you said, to your new business. So
yes, yeah. I think just start. I think, just those two words, just start. This one of the best things that happened recently is the introduction into the dictionary or whatever of the concept of a side hustle. So, it's now perfectly acceptable for you to have a job and, be doing something else. So you don't have to jump in at the deep end and give up your job and start doing something completely new. It's perfectly acceptable so just start. If you're going to make something, buy enough stuff so that you make 20 of those things, hopefully make a bit of profit, and then just sort of bootstrap it a bit and see where you are. It's, don't worry about, going to I think the word business plan frightens people. It really does frighten people. Well, don't do a business plan at that point. Try and sell a little bit or provide that service a little bit or whatever it is your business dream is to be. And then that can be a proof of concept that can then feed into your business plan at the point where you feel you need to start to do some plan. But how many businesses, really fantastic, successful businesses do we know where they just started, they just thought, I think, this is something I want to see where this goes. So just start and see what happens and use that as your proof of concept, really.
Fantastic.
And obviously the other piece of advice that I think I would give is just make sure that you get everything from the legal point of view sorted out. So if it's a food business, you obviously need to register with your local authority, get some insurance. If you're going to be dealing with data, make sure you're GDPR compliant, make sure you've registered with the Information Commissioner. So just make sure that if you're going to spend your money anywhere, and it's not very much, just make sure that you're covered from those point of view, because you don't want things to come back and bite you later on. Just do a bit of research, find out what the minimum is that you need to do to be able to sell or provide the service, etc. And Google's your friend for that. So I'd say yes, just find out about that sort of thing.
Fantastic, thank you. Another question I'm going to ask you, and then open it out. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to post in the comments below, and then we can certainly answer them. What was your source of inspiration for starting the business? What was your why?
Well, I suppose it was from a lot of other things so in my previous business, I did start doing cooking classes as a way to because one of our issues there was that people just would get this box of vegetables delivered and not be quite sure what to do with all of them. So the idea there was to give people, so we did cooking classes, and they were just a one-off 2-hour class, and it was very portable. We would just go to community centres, cafes when they were closed, etc., invite people along, and then they could just, cook along with us, and I would show them some recipes that they could then adapt. And I suppose it was finding that in that business, that was the most enjoyable part of the whole thing, and it met a need. And and during lockdown, when I'd sold the business, that need didn't seem to be disappearing. I think it was becoming more prevalent, like I say, because Boris was talking about obesity and how we do really need to start tackling that as a nation. And also, I run a book group, and one of the books we read for that, the main character, she had a food shop, and the descriptions of that, I thought, well, that sounds like something that I would enjoy doing and I would like to do. And I think, once again, I think it would meet a need. I also I volunteer once a fortnight at Magic Cat Cafe, and they rescue food that would otherwise be sent to landfill from various catering companies and supermarkets, etc. And I did think, here's another example where people are not buying this food because they don't know what to do with this food. So it was the inspiration of that. It's like, why as a country are we throwing all this food away when actually it's perfectly good, perfectly edible? It's just, it's a massive turnip, or it's a, an oversized King Edward potato or something. It's like, you just need the skills, you just need the knowledge to be able to do that. So I think it was all of those things together that made me think, this is something A, I want to do, and B, I genuinely think there's a need here, and I think people would enjoy using that service.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I really appreciate taking your time just to run through your story, I guess, just to answer those questions and to share with the viewers of the business community and the Facebook page all about your business journey. So thank you so much for that. A bit of a shameless plug, I guess. How do people get in touch? What's your website? What's your Instagram and everything?
It's fromscratch.co.uk. And on Instagram, we are its_from_scratch. But I can obviously put that in the comments later on.
Fantastic. That's exactly what I was going to say. We'll put that as soon as we're finished with the live. So honestly, I was absolutely blown away when I looked at your website. I was even more blown away when I looked at your Instagram account, and you have inspired me to get off my...
That's good. That's good. Glad to hear it.
Learn how to zesty a lemon. Honestly, was that right? Was it?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
That sounds really silly at 45. It really does.
No, you are definitely not alone. You're definitely not alone. Like I say, there's loads of things like that off the top of my head. Getting, for example, a tip where if you want to get the leaves off a strip of coriander or something like that, just run it through the hole in a collar, and the leaves will just fly off, so you don't have to spend ages trying to chop or something like that. So we've got loads of handy tips like that. Stick with us. We'll see you all right in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm going to go, kids. I'm going to walk in the kitchen, and kids going to go, "What happened to you? Why did you do
Yeah,
Well,
that's it, exactly. And we're hoping for that all over the country, so that's good.
yep, fantastic. Any quick bit of advice in terms of some of us, not me, are going to be cooking a Christmas dinner, some party foods, things like that? Anything you would suggest?
Well, I would say, well, in terms of drinks, instead of, everyone goes straight to mulled wine, mulled cider. We're going to be putting some mulled cider recipes on our Facebook and Instagram soon. It's just so nice, and I think because it's got that sweet appliness, it goes so well. Apple and cinnamon are a match made in heaven. So definitely look at our mulled cider recipes. In terms of the Christmas dinner, I would always say, in terms of sprouts, it takes a little of extra effort, but shred your sprouts and maybe stir fry them with maybe some hazelnut and a bit of lemon, or baconry goes really nice with sprouts. So fry them up with a bit of bacon or something like that. You do want to keep them whole, just keep the cooking time to absolute minimum. Don't put that cross in the bottom. And yeah, go all out with your stuffing. Look up some really good stuffing recipes, because that's something you can make in advance. Obviously, don't stuff the carcass of the innards of your turkey, because that will increase the cooking time a lot. But go really to town with your stuffing, and that'll go for days in a sandwich and things like that. So we'll talk forever about that.
I'm blown away. I actually catered tonight, but I did a Christmas dinner once with a lot of help from Kate's mum as well. Kate was heavily pregnant at the time, and
well done.
I had no idea how I did it, and I would like to try it again. But no, I did a little bit of something at that point. That's probably
excellent. That's good.
Hey ho.
Well done. And that cranberry sauce recipe, it's like I say, I'm going to pop that on our socials as well. It's you bake it in the oven. It's orange. It's got a bit of Cointreau in there. It's what else did it have in there? Obviously sugar in there as well. It's absolutely delicious. I'm just eating it by the spoonful now, and that'll leave you enough, because it's a fantastic recipe.
You make me. No, you won't make me.
Yeah, exactly. We shouldn't really be doing this at lunchtime, should we? Apologies to anyone who hasn't had their lunch yet.
Well, we shouldn't, but hey ho. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you
to everyone who's watched. I know we get a lot of people that watch it live, but we get even more that watch it on playback as well. We will be putting a little bit of a blog out about yourself, just with some links to the different things that we've spoke about, and obviously links to your website and your Instagram as well. So it's really nice to be able to share our clients' journey. So if anybody would like to appear on another Valued Live in their own words, feel free to get in touch with us. We're always after people to join us. This is going to be a weekly event that we're going to put on, and we're always going to showcase clients and try and help you to help other business owners, but also to try and get you some extra business as well, and share the wonderful news of everything you're working on. So thank you again, Gwen. I really appreciate it, and
thank you.
See you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.